Good day and welcome to a new video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe! Hello and welcome today. Today I'm opening up my sketchbook and just chatting with you guys about it, why it's so important, why I have fun in my sketchbook, and it's great to do and have. So here I have my sketchbook. Recently, I just kind of finished one. It was a sketchbook I bought like 4 or 5 years ago. Maybe even 6 years ago. It's kind of really good book. It's really kind of thickish, and I was drawing in it, and every now and again drawing it, but mostly I kind of kept paper inside of it and drew on that. In this new book, I've done this exercise since after October, so the month after October I did this exercise where I took 4 words a week and I drew those 4 words in my sketchbook, and then I kept it going until I finished that book, and then I opened a new one, a new sketchbook. And now, started from scratch. This is the first page. It's me just jotting down every day's word, and you can see there I've gotten the words I've made. And if you look there at number 1 is fish, and number 2 is wisp. That is Inktober's words that I'm putting it into my sketchbook so I can keep it going in my sketchbook. And that's the only difference between me doing this 4 words a week kind of a thing and Inktober is that Inktober's every day. I don't have to make the words are there for me. As the Inktober words. I'm using ink as in ink pens and things like that. So there's not a big change. I was thinking about maybe using something different. I got a brush pen for it, and it's hard because I can't really use it because I used it one time and it makes the image that bleed through on this type of paper. So I can't have, in this book I do 2 drawings on a page. Half a page is 1 drawing. And then on the back of that page I have another 2 drawings, so I can't really have that. It would mean that I would get through the book more quicker, and the thing is I want the books that I get, my sketchbooks, to last a little bit of time. I don't want them to kind of keep on having to buy one. Yeah, so that's my words. This is going into the first word I drew, which is shapes. Yeah, so I just had fun drawing words. So I decided to keep it going, and so I opened a new sketchbook, and this is what I did. I did the first word, which was shapes. Now, the importance of having a sketchbook is actually posting to it, or actually using it, and it can be kind of a win and a miss thing. It's not for everyone, and some artists are really good at keeping a sketchbook and jotting down their ideas. Others, just kind of it sits in the kind of in the back of their desk, or just sits somewhere randomly, and they use it maybe once a month or something like that. I've been at that stage where I might use it like once a month. Um, and but it's important to keep it going, to keep a little log, even if you only spend like a couple of minutes a day. Um, you know, and doing these drawings 4 times a week at least gives me, a reason, a purpose to kind of draw in my sketchbook, to get some interesting ideas and things if I do want to kind of if I'm just trying to find ideas of what to draw and how to create stuff, using reference, not using reference, all those things that I'm doing to create this. Yeah. So, it's great to have that sketchbook there live, and it's in my bag when I go to work, and that's that. So I've got it there at lunches that I post every day towards pretty much, except for the Friday and the weekend. But after Thursday, I don't really use my sketchbook after that. After doing the 4 days exercise, I don't. I then don't actually really use um my sketchbook that much at all. After that, um, I may pick it up to do something with it, like draw with it or something. But other than that, I don't really use it too much. And here I've drawn sheriff, my second word, I think it is. No, it's not my second word, but it's another interesting drawing that I've done in the sketchbook that I thought was, kind of pushing it a bit more, kind of creating characters a bit more, and helping out on, trying to find a better way, a better style of just kind of copying and um, yeah, it was just it felt a little bit more pushed, I guess, and that's what I try to do now. I've had years of just kind of drawing what I see, and I've had this last kind of few years, I've been pushing away and trying to create stuff on my own. Um, Try to create characters. Some are pretty shabby and pretty bad, obviously, and that's the way it is in my sketchbook. There are days and drawings that I do in my sketchbook that aren't that great, but there are good ones too. And I do the same kind of method where I do pack a lot of loose paper in my sketchbook, um, and draw on those, and I'll draw references in my sketchbook with those loose pieces of paper. Um, it's kind of I only do the real good drawings in the sketchbook, um, and some people can kind of draw everything they see in everything in one book. Um, but for me, I kind of go ahead and do it on loose paper because I can just kind of get rid of those loose paper. I don't really need them so much. Um, yeah, I guess so. But some of them can be gems in on those loose papers. So that's the downside of it. The upside of it is that I don't go through so many sketchbooks. The one sketchbook um every 6 months, I'd say. If I keep doing what I'm doing now, probably every 6 7 months or something like that, I'll go through one sketchbook. Um, they are decent size. I get the jazz art ones, the visual diaries usually. Um, it's just A4, 120 pages, so let's say 120. 120. That's 120 days, so 369. About 4 months it should last, but we'll see. Um, 4 plus I could do two drawings um in each page, so it'd be double that. It'd be 8 months. That last. That makes sense. Each book would be roughly 8-ish months. So I don't go through as many if I was to draw everything that I do in my actual sketchbook. Um, One, it'd be messy all over the place. I've done that before, and it gets real messy of some messy drawings. The sketchbook would be really full and messy. I have heaps of random sketches everywhere, and then I have like a page of a good drawing, and then I have which is great to do. I've done that before, and it's great to keep filling your sketchbook and do that, and have it everywhere. with just random drawings. Here's a hard hat, and this concept here that I've actually done before, but I wanted to kind of flesh it out a little bit more. I guess now that I know a little bit more how to draw a hedgehog and how to characterize and things like that, I took another stab at it and did it again, do that drawing again. And that's another thing about doing kind of sketches and drawing and keeping on drawing in your sketchbook, is that you can do redos of some of your artwork out there, or some of the drawings you've done in the past you might want to redo. um, yeah, try to change your ideas around, and doing this exercise, doing a word, basing my drawing off a word, it gives me a little bit of kind of a direction and a restriction as well. For instance, like hard hat, it obviously has to feature a hard hat, I guess, in some formal way. Um, that is my restriction. Now there's freedom, which is good. That's why it's, for me, it's such a good thing. Why Inktober, doing Inktober and using those words, is such a good thing as well, because you can, it has restrictions, and you can add more restriction or less restriction. It's up to you. It has the words like fish and blah blah blah. It's the same kind of thing. It has restrictions like stacking. Obviously, I got to be stacking something. The dentist is some sort of dentist kind of a thing. But it's open. I can create it in my own way, and you can add restrictions to it. Um, for instance, you could add that it has to be a certain include a certain type of character. For instance, like Disney, maybe you do Disney, you have to do Disney characters for that whole month. You can add more restrictions to it, and I can do that with this too. Um, I can have my word, but I can also have a restriction. For instance, I've done it has to be a creature, or it has to be a human. You know, there are restrictions sometimes that I do if I want to get better at something. Um, get better at drawing creatures for a little bit, or get drawing kind of characterized creatures. Um, or putting characters. I do that for a little bit. I decide on a weakness that I have or something, that I'm trying to get better at, and then I tackle it. And in a sketchbook, it's great for that. Great for just tackling kind of your weaknesses and improving on it. You're not trying to kind of um, create your best artwork in your sketchbook. Really, you're just trying to create something and improve. When that's lifted, when it's like you don't have to paint art for the sake of making something great again, or sharing on social media, or the sake of my YouTube channel. You don't have to make it magnificent. You just do your drawing, and you have fun creating stuff and playing around and having fun. That stacking one was quite fun. Trying to stack turtles in each other was quite interesting, and trying to also make it look like the word. So sometimes it struggles a little bit with, how am I gonna show this word? And some are good, and some are totally out of whack. For instance, I don't know, maybe stacking could have been shown a little bit differently, and people might not understand it. I'm not too sure. Yeah, but yeah, it's sometimes it hit. You can see the drawing, and fully understand what it is. For instance, I tried comic books for a little while. I tried like doing this comic book style, per se. You make my own kind of comics for a little bit, probably a week or two, with my words. and that was a restriction I added, just to kind of play around a little bit and see if I actually like doing it. And it was fun, it was fun for a little bit, and I wouldn't mind picking it up again. It just got challenging at parts because some words were like, how do I represent this? And it wasn't obvious. It was only like a single image again. Um, so doing comics gave me two images or a little bit of a story that I could tell with it. So it was challenging to do it and to keep it up. So eventually I kind of stopped there because, it got to a point where a word was too challenging that I just had to use a single image, not more than one. Um, and some I was kind of forcing it, it felt a little bit forced. I was trying to make a comic when it really didn't need to be a comic. It was like too repetitive in a way. Um, but yeah, some here, like I'm trying a bit of story here, which was interesting. It worked for these drawings, and I think um, it can work for a lot of things. And these are fun little comics that I wouldn't mind actually like rendering and actually fully creating it and putting it online on Instagram and things like that. But yeah, it's all a bit of fun. But yeah, I keep creating it. I forgot what I was saying before. Um, because it popped out of my head. But yeah, doing creatures here, I was getting better at creatures as well, and I think that's been good for my sketchbook. I'm getting better at drawing kind of characterized creatures, um, and yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Awesome. Um, yeah, and these I feel like have a bit of humor as well, which can be hit and miss as well. Um, that's what it was, hit and miss. And same thing with drawing on pieces of paper. Sometimes the drawing on the piece of paper um is a one time only thing for you, and then you go and draw it again, and you just totally fail at it. It's sometimes like that. So, in this instance here, for this word that I've used, burnt, um, I ended up having to, like, I drew it once on a scrap piece of paper, and I thought, oh, that's what I want. Um, yep, I'll redraw that in my sketchbook. And I tried redrawing in my sketchbook, and I totally failed. And I was like, I only have like 20 minutes here um, to finish it, and there's no way I'm gonna be able to finish this in Inkit with pen. Um, so I was like, I had to make a rough decision. I already had the drawing there, so I decided to ink the actual piece of paper and cut it out, glue it in my book. And yeah, that I haven't done it since, but it was one of those times where I only had like 15 minutes left, or 20 or 15 minutes left to do the actual drawing and ink it in that time. So I did decide just do the paper, just ink the paper and glue it in. That's the best I'm gonna get today, unfortunately. Um, yeah, I can't get it any better. And it's a hit and miss sometimes with those. Um, that's kind of another reason why it can be good just to draw in your sketchbook rather than on random pieces of paper, because yeah, you get to keep those gems forever, really. Um, it's a loose piece of paper, you can lose, they disappear, um, they go all over the place. I can't keep every piece of paper that I draw on, so it is a hit or miss. Where it's easier to kind of keep a sketchbook, although I don't want my whole house filled up with sketchbooks. um, that's why it's good to do digital as well for me. Because digital is there, I don't have to physically have a copy of it anywhere. It's on my computer. Um, don't have to build it up. So, it's nothing wrong with keeping a digital sketchbook either, of some sort. I guess it's a little harder because it's not physical. You can't take it with you all the time, and that's what's good with a sketchbook is you can take it anywhere and everywhere. If I want to take it with me, um, to a park to do some drawing, or um, somewhere to do some drawing with it, I can if I wanted to, and that means I can draw everything I see around me, which is good to do that. Every now and again I might do that, draw things around me. Yeah, and I notice now I'm starting to kind of add a little bit more to my drawings. I used to probably, um, I'd say 2 or 3 years ago, it was more simplified. It was just one kind of thing, uh, very simple. Uh, if it was a drawing of a bird, um, or a cat, it was literally a drawing of a bird or cat of mine. You know, Nowadays I like to add more, add a bit of story, and doing that comic thing before, that comic restriction that I had for a week and a bit until I gave up on it. I just trialed it for a little bit, and it's a bit of fun. And who says I won't do more? Um, it was a bit of fun adding that. I really think that helped me to add a little story to a little bit of my um, drawings that I do during the week and other things that I do. It all helps. Keeping a sketchbook, um, really shows me and adds a little bit to what I know I can do. It can really show you if you're getting better at art um and creating things, what kind of skills you have, and just keeping the flow going too. Not it can be struggling, keeping up and doing all your paintings that you're doing and creating the things that you are doing, whether it's for work or it's for, say, YouTube, or it's just a painting you're keeping up with. It can be very challenging to keep those things up and keep those going, and you lose interest sometimes. But it's good to have a sketchbook there. You can just, you might get really sick of drawing or art or something, and sometimes just going into your sketchbook and just doodling something, for the fun of it, or doing an exercise like this, it just keeps you going. Um, and here, I did bridge, and I've done kind of a bridge before in one of my drawings a couple of months before this. I don't fully remember when. I'm not sure if I used the word bridge because I haven't got those words in this book. So I might have, used the word bridge before. I'm not too sure, but I've started fresh for the sketchbook. So whether I have or not, it doesn't really matter. But I've always gonna hit a word that I've drawn before. For instance, one week, couple weeks ago, I drew the word fantasy, um, for my first day, which is Monday, and then I went to work and thought that was my first word because being the first day of work is usually Monday, so I did it, and I've done, and I found out I actually had done I actually have done fantasy before, so I posted it twice, the word twice. I was like really kind of disappointed, but um, I just took it and was like, okay, well, I done 2 days of fantasy, and it was interesting because I did it in two different ways, completely kind of separate in a way, kind of similar but different. But yeah, it's just interesting that I did it that way. and you'll see that word come up eventually. Now, yeah, bridge, here I was trying to tackle a little bit of kind of getting my perspective stuff right and trying to get that 3D-ness of it a bit more. Um, so, I really pushed the perspective here for this bridge, and then eventually, that helped me with this log drawing I was doing as well. Um, so, yeah, just tackling some of those issues you might have um, in your artistic, journey is very helpful to do in your sketchbook. There's not so many restrictions. You're not so frustrated, um, per se, because you're not kind of trying to get it good for the actual painting that you're doing, maybe for a client or something. It's not so demanding. So you just have to keep it, to draw it, and you're not so focused on it. You're just kind of drawing it. You're not you're not worried about it being the best drawing in the world, so therefore it gives a little less kind of worry about it, and it helps you to get better that way. In a way, for me, that's the way I feel. Yeah, and here you can see that I've got two drawings here, lizard and source. And with the word source, I only did this like a week or two ago. But it's interesting because, the sketch that I've done, sketch 2 that you see there, so you got sketch 1 and then sketch 2 basically. That's the first sketch I've done, and then I've done sketch 2 here. Versus the actual drawing itself, source. I feel the sketch 2 is way better than the actual inked drawing in my sketchbook. And that is, again, another hit and miss thing. It's why, again, missing out on drawing in the actual sketchbook. But that's my, decision, because I don't want to go through so many sketchbooks. I like it kind of tidy, in a way. And it's great because it's also, my daughter goes through it every now and again, which is really cool to see. She's seeing what I draw, um, asking, what is this, what is that you've drawn, and it's fun, just showing her all the drawings I've done. I could show other people, show you guys on YouTube, um, and just flick through. I can just, find my old books, I can find my old sketchbooks around and look at all the drawings I've done in them, and see, maybe this year's one versus last year's drawings, and then, kind of compare them, um, where if it's kind of messy, it's all over the place, it gets a little bit more harder to compare, I guess. But yeah, I just like it kind of nice and tidier. Some, it's great to have a really messy one as well. Yeah, you know. And here again, I've kind of guessed the sketch is better than the actual inked drawing. Um, and just seeing that and comparing them to, um, the sketch, and then doing another drawing of it, um, and inking that, just looking at it too can help, because then you can really look at and compare the differences, and why they are different, why they are better, you know, excuse me, why they are kind of, yeah, better in a way, um, to draw, whether it's like, um, yeah, what makes them different, what really shows that the sketches are better. For me, with these sketches, they have got a little bit more emotion to them for me. That's why I feel they are better, because yeah, they do. they do hold their emotion, and when I've tried to capture again, um, I think I've tried to make it more kind of anatomically and, you know, correct in a way than I am trying to capture the emotion. I feel that's what's went wrong, and that can go a little bit wrong as well when trying to capture the emotion again and trying to convert that. Um, but it's there, the sketches are there. I've got photos and things of them, so if one day I do want to try attempt it again or something, I can try and attempt it again, and make it an actual drawing. But this is all for fun. Um, I don't. I tend to not like really paint these out and draw them. Um, but one day I might get some of my drawings and paintings and really trying to flesh them out. Um, yeah, and it can be fun, when I don't have projects, when I don't have things to create and paint. I've lost of ideas. At the moment I'm really full with ideas, and I think it's mainly because I keep, sketching and drawing and um, trying other things in my sketchbook. That all my ideas that I've got, the really good stuff that I'm creating, um, I just keep on going with it. I'm not like lost. I'm never kind of lost. It's never like I don't have anything to draw. I don't know what to draw. Um, Sometimes I get like that if I do, I just want to kind of create something or draw something for half an hour, 20 minutes. I'm like, what should I draw? So I just find a random image or something to draw from reference. Um, but yeah, it's just, hardly ever finding times where I don't have anything to draw, I don't know what to draw. Um, if I feel like the only times that happens is um, if I'm working on a project or something and I feel like I want a half an hour of just drawing something random. That's when I do start to get a bit lost of, oh, what do I go draw? Um, but then, remember maybe, sometimes I remember maybe an old sketch that I might have done like last week, or um, an idea that I had, or I remember, or I just find something random to draw from reference. Those are my options now, and I'm less likely to be like, I don't know what to draw, and just sit there for half an hour and like not draw anything till I find something good. Now I just go for it. I find a reference if I find it. It might take me 10 minutes to find some good reference or something. Um, but yeah, I hardly ever kind of find time where I don't have any ideas, and it's all because, yeah, of these drawings that I'm doing, these sketches, these ideas, and these challenges that I'm tackling. Because, yeah, my sketchbook, I get to challenge myself and improve my skills as much as I can. And it's interesting, I was watching a video not too long ago, um, and he was talking about how, we are running a marathon, we artists, over a short period of time, um, you don't really see much improvement, after your first kind of initial um, year, because I think the first year is where you really, really grow as an artist. You get better at drawing, you learn the fundamentals, um, you learn how to draw and create things, and that's the first year you get really better. But after that, it slows down so much more. You do, um, you only slowly improve over time. Um, and yeah, just not giving up and keeping on going, and that's what helps with doing these sketchbooks and drawings. Um, is seeing some of those initial improvements, um, slowly improving. It's great. It's just to keep on drawing. It keeps me going. I really enjoy it. If I wasn't doing these kind of guided sketching, using words. Um, I was before there just kind of drawing, sitting there thinking about what to draw, maybe not so focused and not so drawing so much. I would like maybe draw a box or draw a cat or an idea for like 5 or 10 minutes, and then have a break. I wasn't kind of focused, and this gives me a little bit more focus. I think that's what you need in a sketchbook, a little bit of focus, because if you just give yourself a sketchbook, um, you you'll get blank out, and you'll get so kind of, it feels like a big kind of mountain or just something you can't tackle. If someone just throws you a sketchbook and say draw in it, you probably might draw in it for a little bit, but eventually, without any kind of um, way forward of filling it, it kind of just daunts on you, and you just draw randomly random things. It's great to just doodle and draw and stuff like that. Um, but sometimes you don't always want to just doodle and draw. So having something sort of guided, just you know, um, maybe it's having fun. It could be having fun for you. So just drawing random things that you have fun drawing in your sketchbook can be great too. Um, Maybe that's guided for you. Just drawing random stuff that you like and want to do, want to explore. Maybe you want to do watercolor. You do a whole book of watercolor paintings of some sort, um, a whole book of koala bears, or a whole book of a random subject that you really like animals. It could be animals from reference. Um, it's just great to keep filling it. And that's what's good with these words. It gives me a guide um, to keep going, keep creating in the book. It's worked for me, and it's nearly been a year of doing it. After Inktober, it will be a year of basically doing these sketch drawings, um, and I've noticed so much change, which has been great. Guided drawings. Before doing this, I was just randomly drawing references and just drawing, creating stuff out of the blue. Sometimes though, it gave me time to tackle some of the issues that I was having in painting and drawing. For instance, I couldn't capture an emotion right, or a character right, or couldn't get a certain aspect of the environment right. So I kept drawing it and trying to fix it in my sketchbook, so I could take that drawing and then apply it to the painting. Um, Sometimes I get to work out those things, which I kind of still do. Um, if I feel like there's a painting or something I want to tackle, I try and tackle it with a word. If it's something like angry, or a creature doesn't look angry enough, so I might use the word angry that week or something, to see if I can play around with how to show angry. And that's what's been challenging too, is that with these words I really want to show them. Um, like angry, I really want to make sure that the character, or whatever I'm going to draw for angry, looks angry. You really understand that he's angry. Or what you saw before with the frustrated word, making sure um, that squirrel looked frustrated, that he couldn't get his nuts open. You know, I just try and show that emotion a little bit more. That thing, duck. I really want to show that it's a duck, not a swan. Um, just trying to show that, and it can be challenging at times. Sometimes I do words like tiger, and um, uh, it's another hard one was beer. I think really trying to show what a beer is, without any reference with me. Just trying show you what it'd be like in my sketchbook. I don't have reference with me, so I'm just drawing it, trying to draw you and show you what it'd be like, looks like in my sketchbook. It's really challenging, but it's great because then I can go from what knowledge I have learned about drawing a certain thing, like drawing a bear or drawing a koala, that I can then kind of try and apply it, you know. And that's what's great. In my sketchbook, I have a little bit of freedom to try and apply some stuff I might be learning from drawing references, or some of this YouTube video stuff as well, and some of the videos and some of the other paintings I'm doing that I've learnt a little bit for, and I can apply it freely in these illustrations, in these drawings that I'm creating in my book. Where in some of my paintings and things and projects that I've got going on, I don't have so much freedom there. You know, it has to be a certain scene or look a certain way. That it's not so free. With a sketchbook, it's so free and open, which is great. Why you should keep a sketchbook. So that's my whole kind of video about why keeping a sketchbook is important. It's really important. You've seen all the drawings that I've done. Well, not all the drawings, but quite a few of the drawings that I've done in the sketchbook that I've got at the moment. The 2020 sketchbook, I guess, because I've freshly kind of started it this year, probably in like March or something, so it should last the end of the year, I think. We'll see, maybe a little bit longer. I'm not 100% sure how much longer the sketchbook will last. But yeah, thanks for joining me. I really do appreciate you if you have sticked around this long, if you sticked around on my Twitch channel or on my YouTube channel. I really do appreciate it. Feel free to comment below if you do keep a sketchbook. If you have any exercises you do in it, or you just randomly go about drawing in your sketchbook and doodling. I would like to know, how you keep your sketchbooks. If you write words all over the place, and ideas, and jot down stories and things like that, or if it's plainly just drawing, that's another thing that's interesting. Some people have a lot of descriptions and things like that, writing their ideas in, which is great. And giving some of their characters like backstories and things, and then having a bit of fun with that, which is awesome to do too. So yeah, let me know down below if you do that kind of thing. If you anything about your sketchbook, I'd like to know. Just let me know down below. Any questions about it, same comment down below. Yeah, hit the thumbs up if you liked the video, if you'd like to see more videos like this, if you enjoyed it. And yeah, thanks for coming in. I'll keep drawing, everyone, and see you in the next video. Goodbye.